Hey guys, welcome back to the next episode of my speed build of my house on the Voxcraft server. Here you are watching me put in the middle floor ground to separate the first floor and the second floor, and I'm trying to figure out how to decorate that, how to separate it. And what I started with is some stairs to cover up the glowstone, and that looks actually really cool with no light in the house, as just the roof kind of glowing, but obviously that's not a permanent solution. So I start framing where a window's going to be, change my mind, make it a door, and something I've always done since I first had Minecraft is to make the door frame out of logs, which may be pretty common, but it's just something I've always stuck to and something I'm doing here. And then I'm trying to figure out, I think there should be windows on both sides of it, so I start filling it in with glass. And the next thing I'm trying to figure out is I want to frame that as well. I kind of want to use stairs for it, as you see me doing here, but I also want to use a log frame, which is a bit more complicated and a lot harder to figure out. So I'm kind of taking a look at the edges and trying to figure out how exactly I can make that look good. Honestly, so far I haven't found a way to make it look good. Just kind of using the stairs as a, you know, like, I don't know what that's even called. It's just like the support area where you might put plants and things like that. Here I start putting in some logs for the frame. I will quickly run into the issue of not being able to center it because I did not count. Like, I don't ever count and measure when I'm building things. Why is it standing still? I don't ever count or measure like how tall I'm making something. I just make what feels natural, so when I'm going to do frames, they almost never line up because I didn't think about it beforehand. And that becomes an issue with literally everything I try to frame with logs in this house. And so there's usually, like you see here, it's where there's a block, or there's a log block touching the ground and then just an extra wood block in the middle before you get to the next level. And here I'm trying to figure out more fence decoration because I'm just absolutely in love with decorating with fences at this point, and I want to make sure I can add in as many little minor details as I can. And I'm kind of thinking here that contrasting the inset fence block is a really good idea, and outlining the door looks good, and I kind of stick with that for at least a little while. It does look really good, it makes a good contrast, and I like it overall. Start laying in the floor here. This was honestly a poor decision. I stuck with this decision, but it was a poor decision from the beginning, is to make the floor of the second floor out of half slabs. I don't entirely know what I was thinking, but I thought it would be nicer. It would make things not just, I guess, on a regular block level. And so I start doing that, and it, let's just say when I start adding things in on the floor, it does not work out all that well, but I end up sticking with it. Here I'm trying to figure out a decent pattern to go with for glowstone to light it up, because I'm awful at lighting, so I'm just literally making the ceiling out of glowstone, and frankly, I have no problem with that. Lots of light glitches from the stairs and the glowstone. Trying to figure out what to do with fences here. But again, half slabs screws up pretty much any design I could come up with, so GG to me for that one. Here I start coming up with a frame. It was originally going to be a giant window, but then I kind of start looking at it, and I want an outer deck area, and I wanted a side, like a staircase on the side. So I start figuring out what to do with that, just making a kind of plank here. But every time I like move it out a bit more, I feel like it needs to be wider, so I just kind of keep expanding on it, trying to figure out how to make it look nice. At the moment it's just kind of a balcony, and I love that little fence design. That's also something I've always used since I started building in Minecraft. And kind of look at that, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of nice. It kind of just hangs out though, and it doesn't do a whole lot. Like, it just kind of looks awkward hanging out from the side of the house there. It's like the house is a face and it's sticking its tongue out. Trying to figure out how to make supports look nice for it. I do like this design a whole lot on the bottom of it, but as a concept on the whole, it's not something I want to stick with. Start making it a bit wider because I feel like that side, I don't know, I just really wanted that side to be open for some reason. I was really dedicated to making that happen, and I don't really feel like that needs to be how it happened, but that's how I start working on it. Expand that just a bit more to make a bigger balcony. But I'm starting to learn that, the balcony itself is not enough to justify having done all this. start working on a cool little fence gate idea. I always like the little gates that look like castle entrances. So kind of trying to toy with that idea, but I don't have enough space to work with or flexibility of the fences, so that's alright. Start repeating this design, which again I really like, but I don't like how this balcony looks. And the stairs on the side, or the fences on the side, while functionality-wise it doesn't serve any purpose, I really liked it, but connecting it to the stairs or the wall of the actual house didn't actually work. Start toying with more, border designs, and I'm just like, something about this doesn't feel right. So I leave it be, and I go back, try and pick out where the next window should be, trying to count and realizing how much I screwed up, again, for being able to make borders for windows and things. So I'm like, alright, screw it, there's gonna be an extra block there. And I'm like, no, I can make this work. And while, yes, I do have a nice window, that was my big issue when I realized it's still touching there, so it has to be a too wide window, which just looks awkward as hell. It stands off really tall from the floor once you're actually inside the building. Try to frame that up a bit, work on the fence posts. I really like that design. That makes it look a lot less awkward from the outside, but it does, of course, still look really awkward on the inside. Give myself a cool little entranceway with some item frames. I love these item frames. Put a creeper head in there and a Steve head, I think. Yeah, yeah, Steve head. Really like how that looks. EposVox's abode. It's my humble abode. And we have since moved this house on the server, by the way, just because I put it in the middle of nowhere and that was a problem. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I wanted an entryway, but I didn't make enough room for steps, really, and I don't like having giant staircases, so I just made a little ladder area. Ladders are not fun to climb in this game, but it worked out. I have no complaints. For some reason, tall grass started sprouting in there. Whatever. Made a back door, just so you have a quick little rear entrance. Not a major big deal or anything, but I just want to be able to get out of the back of my house. Don't think that's too big of a deal. Kind of fence it off, make it look pretty. And here I begin the awful window counting process. I'm realizing I'm literally hating myself at this point because of how terrible I made things for myself for making windows. It's just not doable, and it looks terrible, and ow. And I do apologize for that when it comes to this build, is my inability to make proper windows because of how awful I made that. But I didn't want to rebuild the whole foundation for the house and things like that after I'd gotten that far in, so I just kind of stuck with it. So if you don't like that, you're just gonna have to deal. Start decorating the inside. I realized that the windows, as awkward as they may look from the outside touching the ground, they look even worse from the inside. So start trying to clean them up a bit, get a trapdoor going for the ladder, starting to add little minor details just to make things work for a bit. My trapdoors that everyone hates, and now I'm starting to really see this whole balcony thing just isn't working out. It just looks awkward as hell having this stick out, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do. Thank you for watching so far this episode of my Let's Build a House on the Voxcraft server. At the moment, the server is just completely a whitelisted server because of a lot of griefing and a lack of proper community behavior and things like that on the server, but I may open it back up to the public soon with some better restrictions. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and see you in the next episode.
Catghost.